Hello, my little yarnivores and spiderettes. Fiber Spider back again with what I hope will be the conclusion of this blanket series for the lace diamond blanket. So we're going to start right in with round 14. And so we're going to start with, of course, a chaining of 3. 1, 2, 3. And then a double crochet into the space right here. There we go. And then a double crochet into each of these double crochets. And this first one is always tricky. I know I keep saying that, but it is. It likes to be disagreeable. There we go. Okay. And then, as I said, one in each, working our way across. And I do apologize for cutting the last video of the series sort of midway, but it can be rather tricky uploading extremely large files. And also, it was, I believe, running on like 40 minutes. And I'm like, I think we'll just split it up. I've done it before with other crochet alongs, and I thought that you guys would understand. All right, and we're almost to the end here. Oops, got to go through all of my plies. There we go. All right, so we've reached the chain 2 space, so we need to do 2 double crochets into the chain space. Chain 2. Skip the first 2 doubles going into the next with a double. And this one's going to be rather short because we need to skip the last 2. So there we go. Skipping these last 2. See, doing sort of a recap, we went from 3 to 7 to 11 to 15 to 19, and we're back down to 3 again. So if you've been following along with this series, I'm pretty sure that you can see where this is headed, just as we've already done before. It's just now we have more diamonds on each side. So chaining 2, we're going to go into the next chain 2 space with 2 double crochets. Okay, and then we're going to do a double crochet into each of these doubles all the way across. And I'm sure that some of you probably don't even need to be watching this right now. And to those of you that are able to go on and have figured out what I am doing, I say more power to you. That's great. For those of you that are actually still watching, I say thank you. I say thank you for watching and following along with me because I love having you here. There we go. All right, and just a couple more. And there we go. And so now I need to do 2 doubles into the chain 2 space. Chain 2. Skipping the first 2, going into the third with a double. And I'm only doing 2 more because we have to skip the last 2. like so. So chain 2, skipping these 2, going into the chain space with 2 doubles, and then 1 in each to the end of this edge. Okay, almost there. Almost, almost. All right, so now what I need to do is 2 more doubles into this corner space here. Okay, then I'm going to sort of turn my work a little. Chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 2 more doubles into this corner space. And then 1 in each here. And just working our way across. Like so. Alrighty, and so now I need 2 more doubles into the chain space. And then a chaining of 2, skipping the first 2, going into the third with a double. Okay, and 1 more. Ta-da! Chain 2, going into the chain 2 space with 2 doubles, and then a double in each as we work our way across this one. Oops. Oh, that's okay. All right. And just working our way across. And of course, I'm missing some plies because this yarn has a tendency to split a little bit, but I think the colorway is worth it, don't you? All right, and so basically it's a matter of continuing on in this fashion, and you can use this first side as sort of your guide, okay? And so when we first started, we only had 1 diamond. Now we're contending with 2 main diamonds, and if you keep going on in this fashion, you'll end up with more and more diamonds. So I'm going to keep going on in this fashion, decreasing our 2 here, so we only have 3 at the top on each, and I'm going to keep working my way around until I reach the end of round 14, and I'll meet back up with you when I'm near the end. All right. Alrighty, so I've been scooting right along with the continuation of round 14, and I'm almost near the end. So I did the increasing on this one, so I need to do the decreasing on this one as far as the diamonds are concerned. So I'm going to chain 2 because I did my 2 double crochets into that chain 2 space. So skipping those 2, going into the third, like so. And we're only doing 3 doubles because this one is shrinking. And so we're skipping these last 2, chain 2, going into the chain 2 space with 2 doubles. And then 1 in each. For this diamond. And then we'll be at the end of round 14. Oops. Alrighty, and 2 more doubles into this chain space. Chain 2, and then a double crochet into the top of this first chain here, like so. It's a lot of repetition, but I find it calming. Alright, and then a double, pull up our loop a little, and let's see what we got. This thing is getting big. Alright. Oh, it's so pretty. Alright, so now for round 15, we're just going to have single spaces because we're going to bridge over our 3s, and it's going to be what I referred to earlier as the easy sort of get out of jail free round, and that will conclude this part as far as what we need to do. So much fun. All right, be right back for round 15. Round 15. All right, so starting right in, as we always have been, by chaining up 3. Okay, and then a double crochet into this space here. And then a double crochet into each double. And I'm going to battle through this and win. Haha, I win. All right. And then stitching 1 in each, going across. And if you're going to be doing this blanket, of course, bigger than what I am currently making mine, because this is really a sample. This would be the row that you would end on this round. You know, it's quite simply, it's a 5-round repeat, and this would be the round that you would end on. You know, you could keep going, and if you're making an actual blanket, unlike me right now, if you're making an actual blanket, you would want it to be bigger, of course, but you would just keep doing these repeats. You know, between the last video of the series and this video, if you follow along, you can make as many diamond motifs per side as you wish. You could just keep going. Granted, it'll be a square format, which you may or may not like, but that's the nature of this project. All right, so we're still increasing because we did the increasing on this side, so we need to again do 2 doubles into this chain 2 space. Okay, and now we need to hop, skip, and a jump over these 3. So chain 2, and then into the next chain 2 space, 2 doubles. And then a double crochet into each. So this is, as you can see, why I love this round. You really don't have to think too terribly much, about which diamond is which. Which one is increasing, which one's decreasing. It's pretty much mapped out for you pretty clearly, which I love. It's a lot of straightaways, as it were. And then I'm going to show you how I did my border, which naturally, of course, you can use whatever border works for you, and I encourage it. Perhaps even coming up with something new. Think outside of the box. Do something original. I always encourage that. All right, so I reached my chain 2 space, so I'm doing 2 doubles into the chain space, and then chain 2, and then into the next chain 2 space, 2 doubles, and then a double crochet into each. Easy as that. Love it. All right. And quite frankly, that's how the rest of round 15 is going to go. Easy as that. If I can keep my yarn on the hook, that is. Oh gosh. But you could also, of course, leave the edge as is. Nothing at all wrong with that. But and quite often with my projects, I don't put a border or an edging on them for the sake of it looking neat and less muddled around the edges. But really, you can do whatever you like, and I rather do like the appearance of the one that I created for this project because I think it really gives it a nice polish to it. Come on. There we go. And I've reached the end here, this corner. So again, I'm going to need to do 2 doubles into the corner space. Okay. And then chain 4. And 2 more doubles into the corner space. And then, of course, 1 in each as we go around, and so forth. And that's really all there is to it for round 15. And if you need to, of course, you can use this side as your guide. Yes, I rhymed. And so I'm going to meet back up with you when I reach the end of this round. All right, I'll be right back. Alrighty, so I finished round 15 as I had been working on it, so I just have those spaces on the edges. So if you're doing a piece of your own in bigger dimensions, you would end on this round. Now, also, yes, I make mistakes too. I did notice as I was going around that in this corner, when I was chaining, I only did 2 chains, not 4. But this is only a sort of a demonstration piece, so, and I'm probably going to undo all of this work. So I rectified it by on this round doing a chain 4. However, it's not terribly noticeable, but of course we notice our own mistakes. So I'm not perfect, I admit. Never will I say that, you know. So at any rate, we're going to continue right along in with the border, which again, you know, if this is something that you wish to do, by all means, go ahead and do so. And, you know, I when I reached the end, you know, after doing my 2 doubles, I did a chain 2 and then a double crochet into that top chain, just as I normally had, you know, nothing new. So now to do the border, as I had done it before, I'm going to start by chaining up 3, 1, 2, 3, and again doing a double crochet into that space. Nothing new, right? All right, so in order to do, and yes, I'm just going to be doing a double crochet into each here. Nothing spectacular or new. In order to do a front post, back post, double crochet border, you need a foundation to start with, is what I have personally found. So for this round, for the first round of the border, it is quite simply just filling in the gaps that we have to work with, and that's quite easy. So it's more or less just a double crochet into each double crochet all the way around, but when you hit the chain spaces, you have to make some adjustments, and that's no big deal. We can do this. So I'm going to show you what to do at the first gap, and then what to do at each corner. It's really, really simple. And then I'll show you how to do the front and back post doubles, in case if you haven't seen it from previous videos, and also how to make adjustments so that your corners do not buckle or warp your piece, which can be a sore spot. Believe you me, I know. So it's just a double and a double, you know, really easy peasy. If I can keep my hook in my stitches, that is. All right, so now I have reached my first gap. Okay, so we only did 2 chains. However, we have 3 doubles, so we want to compensate for that. So even though it's a 2 chain space, we're going to do in each of these gaps all the way around. So this one and so on and so forth. In each of these gaps, you're going to do 3 double crochet stitches. And personally, I found that it works just fine for me. It might not for you. You may need to do some finagling and fiddling yourself, and that's okay. It's how we learn. But for me, it worked. So we've got 3 right into that space. So I'm going to continue right along until I reach my corner, and then I will show you what to do and how you can deal with these little corners. but in each of these spaces, these chain 2 spaces, you're going to do 3 double crochets, and it's just a double crochet in each of these stitches. So I'm going to get to the corner and I'll show you what to do. Alrighty, so I'm nearly at my corner. I already dealt with the other chain 2 space by filling in with 3 doubles right there. So at the corners, now we have a chaining of 4. However, you are going to want, as far as my experience tells me, you're going to want an odd number of stitches in the corner so that we can grow out from them. So instead of dealing with 4 chains and making 4 doubles, do 5. And that will make more sense on the following rounds, believe you me. So I got 2. Oops. 3, 4, and 5. All right. And then continue on, just doing a double crochet into each stitch all the way around until you reach the end. And I will meet back up with you when I have reached the end, and just continue progressing along, 3 into each of these chain 2 spaces, like here and here, and then when you reach the corners, another 5. Okay, so I'm going to meet back up with you when I am at the end of this round, and we will continue on. All right. Alrighty, so I worked my way all the way around, filling in my chain 2 spaces with 3 doubles and my corners with 5s. Now I reached the original corner, and so we had 2 double crochets right in there. So we need 3 more. So going right into this chain space, we need 3 more doubles. Like so. And then we're going to do a slip stitch to the top of this first double. Like so. Oops, almost had it. All right. And that creates a total of 5 in this corner. All right, so now to begin the next round of our border here, we're going to chain up 3. Okay. And into the next double, okay, we're going to do a front post double crochet. So instead of going into the top of the stitch as we normally would, we're going to go around the post. Okay, and we're going to grab the yarn and finish a double crochet. So that's a front post. Okay, the next one is going to be a back post. So again, yarning over and then going in through the back and grabbing the post, not into the stitch, but the post. And we're going to finish up this double. So we have a front post and a back post, and then another front post, and then going in from the back, doing another back post, and then a front post, and then in through the back, And it does help if you turn your work a little bit. Doing a back post, and then another front post, and then going in through the back, and so on and so forth, all the way across. And you would treat these as normal, you know, just as we've been doing here, just a front post, back post, front post, front post, back post, alternating, just, you know, one each, okay, as you meander and work your way to the other side. And I'm going to show you what to do when you reach the corners, which is a little bit different. But as far as these spaces are concerned, it's no problem. Just treat them as, if you're doing a front post here, well, then you do a back post here. Front post, back post. Just keep going as normal. And then when I reach my first corner, I'll show you what to do. Be right back. Alrighty, so I've been doing my front post, back post all the way across the side so far, and I reached a corner. And I'm almost to that point. I still have to do this last one with a back post because I just did a front. So just going in for a back post, no big deal. There we go. All right, so now I reached my 5, and this will make more sense as it's underway. So I'm going to do the first 2 as normal. So that would be in this case, a front post and then a back post, like so. Okay, now the third one, that's sort of the keystone. All right, the third one, we need to do an increase. So for this third one, because I've reached a front post, I'm going to do 3 front post double crochets, or you could do a front, a back, and a front, but it's, for me, I would say it's a lot easier just to do 3 front posts instead of alternating even further. So I did 1 front post in that stitch, and I'm going to do another in that same stitch, and 1 more. Like so. And then so for the other 2 stitches in this corner, I'm going to do them as normal. So going back to a back post, it's a little bit crowded in the corners, but I think that it's worth the extra effort in the long run. So a back post, and then the last stitch of the corner is going to be a front post. Okay, and so that is a completed corner using our ribbing. Now, I wouldn't say it's absolutely brilliant, but it works. And so I did a front post, and then going back to doing a back post, and then another front post, and so on and so forth. Now, as far as your stitches are concerned, if, when you reach a corner, okay, see, when I reached my corner, it started with a front post, then a back post, and then 3 front posts. That's how the numbers worked for me. However, if, on the other hand, you have the inversion of that, instead of doing, like for instance, if you, on this stitch, are supposed to do a back post according to the rhythm that we have going on here, if you need to do a back post here, then you would do a back post, then a front post, and then 3 back posts in the same stitch, okay? It's really not a huge issue one way or the other, but I'm just giving you the heads up that your numbers may not be the same as mine, okay? And that's okay, because I haven't tested this fully, but the number of diamonds that you have could impact the final stitch count, and you could end up with having to do 3 back posts in the third stitch of the 5 stitches here instead, okay? So then what I'm going to do is continue right along and doing my front post, back post all the way along until I reach this corner, and then I'm going to act accordingly, okay? So I'm going to go all the way around until I reach the beginning, and I will show you how to finish the row and start the next one. All right. All right, so I'm almost done with the first round of my ribbing here. And so I just have to do one more, which is going to be a back post, like so. And now I've reached the corner. So again, I need to follow suit with the first 2 stitches. So that'll be a front post and then a back post. There we go. And then this next stitch is the third, so I need to do 3 front post, 1 and 2 and there we go, 3. Okay. And this first one that we have here counts as a back in essence. You know, it's such a minor detail that when your blanket is finished, probably only you will actually notice. So I'm going to just do a slip stitch right in there, okay? And that's the end of that round. Now to continue along, you can do however many rows that you want of the front back post. You know, that's really no problem. So going to start again, of course, by chaining up 3, and then with the next stitch following suit, and so it's a front post, so going to do another front post. And then a back post in the next stitch, which can be a little bit tricky, but again, it does help sometimes to turn the work and see that you have the post, especially if you're using a finer yarn like this and a small hook. Like so. And again, going in for a back post. See, I'm just getting the post, not the newspaper, not the mail, but the post. And just keep going back and forth with a front and back post, continuing the rib, which I think looks lovely. Now, when you reach the corner in this case, see, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cheat just a little bit. Just a little bit, because I think you get the gist. So I'm going to pretend that I worked all the way across. And I'm about to reach my corner again. And then when you reach these corners, we're going to do something very similar to what we did on the first pass for our ribbing. Very similar, except an inversion. So I've just about reached the corner, and what you do then is you follow suit. Okay, so I did my front post and then my back post. Okay, and now what you're going to want to do is out of these three, the first one, if these are all front posts, you would do it like this. If these are back posts, you would do the exact opposite. So the first one, I'm going to continue following suit. It's a little bit tricky because they're a bit crammed in together, but the first one I am going to do as a front post, continuing on the pattern. And then the middle one, okay, the middle one I'm going to do 3 back posts. So that's 1, and then scooching in. It does look a little tricky and convoluted, but then again, so is most of life. All right, and so that's the second one, and then going in again underneath and through for the third. So we went from 3 front posts to the center of these 3 as 3 back posts. Then the third from the previous round, make it into a front post again. And then back post. And then front post. And continue on until you reach the next corner, which again, you would just keep following suit until you reach the 3. And then so this first one would be a front post. Then the middle one would be in that same post. You would do 3 back post, and then you would do another front post. Okay, I really hope that makes sense. I didn't want to do an entire round, just so that you could get the point. And of course, then, if you were to do another round on top of this, you would keep following suit and so forth until you reach these 3 back posts. And so you would do a back post, and then the middle one, you would do 3 front posts. Then you would do, on the third of this cluster, a back post, and then a front post, and then a back post, and then a front post, etc., etc. I really hope that all that makes sense to you, and it really does create quite a beautiful edging, I think. Nice border. And if you liked this video and you enjoyed this series and you've been following along with me all this while, I really appreciate it. And if you liked it, please hit the little thumbs up button down below, because I really, really do appreciate your support in this video and all of my others. Thank you so very much. And if you have any questions, comments, what have you, please do so in the comments section right down below. And also, if you haven't hit the subscribe button, please do so, because I try to post videos as often as I can, whether it be knitting or crocheting or audiobook narration. And, if you hit subscribe, you'll be in the know as to when I post my next video, which hopefully will be reasonably soon. And so listen, my dears, until next time, I want all of you to stay inspired, stay caffeinated, and above all, stay stitching. I love you guys, and I will see you in my next video. Bye for now.